Live stream again for Angus Licensing Board.
Okay, welcome back everyone. Apologies for that short delay. I think we've managed to get rid of some of those little gremlins. So just before we move on, are there any further declarations of interest or statements of transparency? No. Okay, thank you. We'll move on to item number 3, which is the minute of the previous meeting. We submit these for approval as a correct record. Do we agree to this?
Agreed.
Thank you. I'll just move to legal.
Yeah, just a quick update for members. Whilst the minute is obviously accurate as to what happened during that meeting, you'll recall the email I sent out following the board in respect of the premises licence held by Maxabel Limited, which was numbered 399. At the meeting, it was suspended because the fee had not been paid. It was actually paid the day before the board. Unfortunately, that wasn't brought to our attention. So actually, the decision made by the board was not competent. There wasn't anything to be reviewed because everything was actually in place. And so going back to the previous board meeting where it had been paid, the review would have been withdrawn. So effectively it was withdrawn. So just to clarify that that's what's happened.
Thank you very much. Moving on now to item number 4, the provisional premises licence under the Licensing Acts 2005. This is report number LB 126, and this is with regards to 19 Marketplace in Arbroath. Just before we start with this, we have had a late representation from ECP, so if we can go to ECP and ask for an explanation as to why that was late, please.
Good morning and thank you, Chair. Apologies for the late submission. This was due to additional workload pressures at the period of the consultation.
Thank you. So if I can move and ask members if they would be happy to accept that reason and if they're willing to accept the representation from ECP.
Agreed.
Yep, thank you. I see lots of nodding heads. Okay, so that will just be sent out, so please bear with us one moment.
That's it being emailed over to members.
Can I ask if members need a minute or two to go over that and read that? Is 5 minutes sufficient? In that case, I'll ask for a 5-minute recess so that we can go through that. Thank you.
If we could pause the stream. live stream and let me know when it's live. Just double checking with you that the stream's live. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Welcome back. We've had a chance to read that, so I will invite the applicant, Mr. Paul Johnson, who I believe is joining us remotely. If you would like to take this opportunity to talk to your application.
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but we can't see you, so I'll need you to turn on the camera function, please.
I've put the camera on, but it doesn't. I'm not. All I'm seeing is a gold screen when I put the.
Yep, that's all that we can see as well. Are you using a laptop or is it a phone? If it's a laptop,
No.
it may have a cover over the camera that you need to remove, or...
Hang on, sorry. There we are.
There we are.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you. Thank you.
So yeah, the application that I've put in is for, I think at this stage it's a provisional license, and it's for a wine bar in Arbroath at 19 Marketplace, which we've called Lord Rubens. It's we have put in a license for sort of a 12 to 12, but we would be at the moment we would be looking just to open on a Friday, a Saturday, and on a Sunday, which we were aiming to close around 6 p.m. And it's a wine bar, which is it's quite a it won't be, and even though if we've got music and stuff, it's a very but sort of an easy speak. It's a place that we'd be looking for people sort of obviously of all ages to go. It's not a bar as such where there'll be people stand at the bar and that. It will be once the seats are taken, then that's us full. It'll be table service and that with the wines and stuff. We will be selling some spirits now, which is sort of local ones from Redcastle and places like that, Carnoustie Distillery and that, and the Gin Bothy. So we're sort of using local stuff. We're using sort of beers and that from local places in Dundee and that as well. So we will be serving like sharing platters as well for food and that, but not doing big meals or anything either. And that's really
Okay, if you're happy with that, thank you very much. Do I have any questions from members for Mr. Johnson? Councillor Meakin.
Just for clarification, I mean, I don't live in Arbroath. Is this premises adjacent to Witherspoons? Just so
Yeah.
get a head of where it is. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks, convener. Good morning, Mr. Johnson. I was wondering, is it then your plan that people will come in to the premises, they'll sit down at a table, a server will come over, take their order for food and drink, and then deliver it to their table? But people, once seated, they can go over to the bar and order drink.
Yeah.
Presumably also extra food if they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, as far as sort of the food and stuff, we would be looking at where they're actually booking. So that if they're having platters, then we would have that organised. It is very much more a booking place rather than just. I mean, if we've got tables and people walk in, of course they can do that. The aim is that we would prefer to do table service even with the drinks. Once they've had drinks, we would go over and see. But if they did come up to the bar, then obviously I would take their order and I would tell them and I would bring it over to them.
Right, so your customers are able to order at the bar, but it will always be delivered to their table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from members? Councillor Speed?
Yeah, from what I've kind of seen and heard locally, because obviously I stay in the town, Lord Rubens is looking to offer something quite different, quite unique. You know, a bit like a fine dining experience. This would be kind of a, you know, a wine evening, and like you say, a small platter. Would that be a correct assumption, that it's something that, yeah, this is going to be quite different for the town?
Yes. Yeah.
And yeah, it's not going to be a loud booming evening. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from members? No? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. And we'll come back to you in a moment. If you want to just pop yourself back on mute, then that would be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have we've seen the late objection, well, the late representation, apologies, from ECP. Louise, is there anything you would like to add or say?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, just to reiterate, this is a standard condition for licensed premises that look to offer music, live performances, etc., and requests a noise management plan as a condition of that licence.
Thank you. Any questions for ECP from members? Councillor Durno.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, for Louise, obviously I've had management plans. I've approved a management plan for it. We did have residents in the area complain about the local construction work that was going on in the vicinity, because some people do sleep during the day that live there. So I can see why you've put in the management plan. So I'd be quite happy if there's a noise management plan just for the neighbours. That would be good. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions for ECP for members? No? Okay, thank you. We shall move to the LSO. Everyone will have seen through the report that there's a part in there from that. Is there anything you would like to add or say to that?
Thank you, Convener. No, there's nothing further to add, just to highlight that the times requested are within board policy and the children's conditions are in policy as well.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for the LSO from members? No, I see no hands. Is there any comments that any members would like to make? Councillor Meakin.
Thank you, Convener. I have no real issues with this application. It sounds like an excellent idea for Arbroath, and I wish Mr Johnson and his partner all the best with it. That said, I do believe that environmental health's addition of the noise management plan is something that we should add in as a requirement. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Clark.
Good morning, everybody, and good morning, Mr Johnson. And like my colleague there, I wish you all the very best. Sounds like a really good thing, but we have our expertise from our officers for a very good reason, and this morning they have given us food for thought and something to read about the conditions of times, etc. Because I say this often, we really do need to be a good neighbour, and so given your times, it still sounds to me like something that I would like to support and wish you all the very best, with the caveat that, albeit that we include that, Convener.
Thank you very much. Councillor Speed.
Yeah, thank you. I think this is a really exciting kind of boost to Arbroath Town Centre, a real injection of life. And like I say, from what I can gather, it's offering something quite different, quite unique, quite stylish. Yeah, I'd be really supportive of adding in the noise management plan. I think, as Councillor Clark often says, being a good neighbour is so vital, and I think that just helps protect everybody and just ensures that the necessary processes and protocols are in place.
Thank you very much. Any further comments from members? No. I will add my own little one. I kind of have to agree with everyone else with what they've said, especially with regards to management plans. For noise, it's important to be a good neighbour, and also with Councillor Speed's comment there, I think it is be something quite different for Arbroath or for Angus in general. Something I'd quite like to visit myself. I think it reminds me of the premises I used to go to when I lived down in England. So yeah. Okay. Are there any motions from members? Councillor. Yeah. Sorry, before I go to that, I'll go back to Mr. Johnson and give you the opportunity to sum up should you wish to.
No, I'm happy with that. Yep.
Thank you. In that case, I shall go to Councillor Meekin.
Thank you, Chair. I would move that we grant the applications subject to the statutory conditions and the additional condition suggested by Environmental Health of the noise management plan.
Yep. We'll just pop to legal just quickly, just to clarify on that one.
Thank you, Convener. Yes, it is a standard condition. However, the last two sentences in what has been put in the paragraph are actually superfluous, because any noise complaints would be dealt with under a premises licence review anyway, so that's statutory. And likewise, if the condition is on the licence, it's for the lifetime of the licence, so those two sentences are actually superfluous. So I would stop at the positioning of speakers suggest.
Are you happy with that, Councillor Meekin?
Yes, happy.
Thank you. Councillor Clark.
Nothing much to say other than I would like to second that with good wishes all round.
Thank you. Are there any motions to the contrary? No? In that case, I think that we are unanimous. Is that agreed? Yep. So the licence has been granted subject to the statutory conditions as well as the additional condition from Councillor Meekin. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you.
Okay, we will now move on to item number 5. This is a premises licence, a request to vary under the Licensing Act 2005. This is report LB 226, and this is for Angus Alchemy Woodside in Carnoustie. Members will remember that we've had this one a couple of times, and it was deferred for discussions around toilets and capacities. So we will have read through the papers, and we shall go through that one now. So we have with us Mr. Forsyth attending remotely. No, you're over there. Sorry. So if you would like to take this opportunity to go through what you would like to with the board. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Convener, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this case has been deferred a couple of times. You touched upon it. Primarily, it was an issue with the capacity and the number of toilets currently in the premises. So it's been deferred a couple of times actually for the client to really assess whether how realistic it was and commercially viable it was to put in the additional toilets that were required to comply with the proposed increase in capacity. Having considered that, they are of the view that they would probably only be having the increased capacity numbers maybe a couple of times a year, and so really primarily from the commercial point of view, to change the property significantly and put in additional toilets it just wasn't going to be commercially viable for the number of increased events that they were going to have. So on that basis, I hope everyone should have a revised application which was submitted this week. So essentially we're really dropping the increase of capacity, albeit or certainly for the previous number. As I understand it, I've been in discussion with building standards. We understand for and just to remind everyone, there's essentially two gender neutral WCs within the property. The maximum capacity with two WCs is 20. The property is currently licensed for 18. So on that basis, we've varied or revise the application ever so slightly to increase the capacity number from 18 to 20, which will cover 18 patrons and 2 staff. So just to get it up to the maximum number that we can, on a practical level, it's not going to make much difference to how how things operate, but an extra 2 people at a tasting potentially. Other than that, so so it says I am moving the revised application today. So just for the ones of doubt, that is to increase capacity to 20. I said that's 18 patrons and 2 staff. There's a further variation for live music and the addition of a small outside area. Now, I did go into some detail about those, I think, on the first occasion, so I don't particularly intend to go into any detail again. In short, yeah, live music, we're talking about a sort of a folk singer or something like that. It's not no sort of Metallica tribute bands or anything like that. Maybe odd sort of Hogmanay type thing, and a folk singer, violin, something along those lines. And the addition of the outside area is really to have tastings outside in the summer. And to be absolutely clear, the 20 to capacity, that's inclusive of both the inside and the outside area. So really, the application is really to enhance the experience for the customer. I did go into the background of the business at the first time as well. It's a fantastic local business. I think I actually heard one of the previous applications say that they use local suppliers, and I think I heard the Carnoustie distillery, which I think there is only one, so I assume that to be my client. So it does provide a great and interesting service, I think, and this is given we've now moved away from the big increase in numbers. It really just enhances the business and enhances the experience for the local community, which in turn will hopefully allow them to grow. And it may well be that if they can do that, then at some point they can come back and look at additional numbers to grow it. But certainly that's the position for the time being. Happy to answer any questions, but I would move the revised application today.
Thank you very much. Just before we move to questions, there is a revised application that Fiona is going to email out to you now. There are 3 PDF documents within that. How much time would members like to go through that and digest it? Would 10 minutes be enough? Is that enough, or would you prefer 15? 10? Happy with 10? If anyone needs longer, we can come back and we can go with that. Okay, so we'll recess for 10 minutes to go over those. Thank you.
Can you pause the live? Ryan, could you start the live stream, please?
Okay, thank you. Welcome back, everyone. We've all had the opportunity to have a look through that revised application. So do any members have any questions for Mr. Forsyth? Nope, I see no hands. Okie dokie. In that case, we will move to the LSO.
Thank you, Convener. There's nothing further really to add to my report. There's not a massive change in the revised application, and I would still request with the outdoor drinking that the outdoor conditions be applied to the licence.
Thank you. Any questions for the LSO from members? No, no questions. Okay, we will go to building standards.
Thank you, Convener, and good morning, everyone. Yeah, I have been in contact with Mr. Forsyth. We have agreed that the occupancy capacity for the distillery itself should be capped at 20, so in complete agreement with that. I would just like to clarify if the entire application is being capped at 20 or the 28, because it includes the halfway house as well. That is just a query from myself, but you'll note from the papers I did have 3 points that were objections. So the first one is covered with a capacity of the distillery at 20. The second one, again in discussions with Mr. Forsyth, happy to restrict the outdoor numbers to reflect the indoor numbers at 20 again, or 28 in total if it includes the halfway house. And the third point, in relation to an outstanding building warrant that doesn't have a completion certificate on the halfway house, that is still outstanding, but I would note that there is already a licence on that property being accepted by the board, so it's a comment for the board to consider at this stage.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for building standards from members? Councillor Clark.
Just because you've just said what you're saying there, in the past we would have allowed everything to go ahead, maybe because we knew that this situation with the building thing would come. So I'm a wee bit perturbed that it's still outstanding then, because we've already given that permission. I'm not suggesting for a minute that there's anything else that perturbs me, but that wee bit, just to query that.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor. We're dealing with a variation, though, unfortunately, so we can't look beyond the variation. You need to restrict your consideration to the matters that have been put forward by the applicant to be varied. So what is existing, we're not allowed to take into account.
That's fine. I wondered about that.
Thank you. Any other questions from members? No. In that case, we can go to the police if there's anything from them. Do they have anything they would like to add or say?
Thank you, Convener. No, we've got no objections in the new variation and the reduction of the persons. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the police? No. In that case, I'll move back to Mr. Forsyth. If you'd like to take this opportunity to sum up, you're more than welcome to do so.
Yes, I simply moved the revised variation. I was going to talk about this completion certificate, but no, I don't think I require to do that. There's things going on with that. But no, simply for the reasons I would urge the application to be granted. It's not a significant change, but it really enhances a really fantastic local business and really will allow it to really push on. So for the reasons I've discussed, I do move the revised application.
Thank you. Any comments from members? Anything anyone would like to say? No, we all seem quite happy today. Okay, in that case, I'll seek motions from members. Councillor Meehan.
Thank you, Convener. I would move that we grant the application subject to the statutory conditions, including, was the outside the LSO mentioned, Jeff? Thank you.
Thank you. And do we have a seconder? Councillor Clark.
Happy to second, Chair. I think we're making a habit of this, double act here. But what I would say is the decision that's been made is very wise, because you know, this is a good thing. We want it to work. So you've made a very good decision here, and thank you so much.
Yeah, and just to confirm that this is for 20, for a capacity of 20.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Are there any motions to the contrary? No. In that case, we are in agreement. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Forsyth.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We will now move on to item number 6. This is the premises licence review application for a Booker Hotel. This is report LB 326. And at this point, I will vacate the chair and hand over to my vice convener, Councillor Nicholl.
Good morning, everyone. This is my first time in this seat, so you might have to bear with me today. So we are looking at agenda item number 6, which is the premises licence review application for a Booker Hotel. I believe we have a Mr. Sheik and Peter Harvey representing the licence holder. Can I confirm that you have authority from the licence holder today?
Yes.
Right, thank you. So now we move on to the papers, and we have to decide whether to hold the hearing today based on the information that's in front of you today in the report. Are we happy to hold the hearing?
Yes.
I've got a few nodding heads. Got a few nodding heads, so we will move on. So at this point, I confirmed that we've got the representation here on behalf of the premises holder. I would just like to confirm with yourselves that you received a copy of the premises licence review application. Have you received a copy of the premises licence review application? No, they haven't.
It's part of the papers that were sent out.
No, we didn't receive anything. We just had a call last week because there must be...
sorry.
No, there's 2 minutes.
Right, sorry. because we received the call the last week from the council because they tried to send the email to, I don't know which email address, so I gave them a new email address. So that's why I just only received the email for the meeting today, and we haven't got anything, any paperwork.
Thank you. Sorry, board members, just for your information, we received an email in response to the invite, and that was on the 8th of January from Philip Ferrier, who is the licence holder. Now, what he said is he's on vacation and he was unable to make the meeting, so he's sending his lessee and manager to represent him. That was in response to the papers that were out, and prior to that we did get a confirmation from him that he had received the papers, and that was on the 6th of January. So the licence holder has received all the necessary papers. And to quote, I write to acknowledge safe receipt of your correspondence, and then did request a date for consideration, a change of date for consideration, at which point we said, well, that he has to bring that to the board to make that request. So the papers have been properly issued. It's the case that the people here representing may not have seen that, so that is something for you to consider.
Right, I'm going to go to members, ask for your thoughts on this.
Thank you, convener. I'm a bit perturbed as to where we go next. I would feel very uncomfortable trying to actually determine anything. I think it's slightly unfair on the people sitting here. Now, I understand what you've just said, completely agree with you. But as a human being, I'm sitting here thinking, well, that person might have got papers and understood them, but these two men here today don't appear to. So I'll wait and see what my other colleagues say, but that's how I feel.
I'm going to bring in Councillor Durno.
Yeah, thanks, Louise. I just think we should maybe defer this until we actually get the licence holder in, because obviously if he's getting the correspondence and the people that work for him haven't got the correspondence, then they can't actually talk on his behalf. So I suggest we could defer this to another month or so till we get it all sorted out. Okay.
Councillor Meakin.
I would agree with Councillor Durno on this one.
Councillor Brace, do you want to come in?
Yes, thanks, convener. I would actually like a short adjournment so that we can get advice from our officers on this.
Is everyone else in agreement with the adjournment? Would they like more time to think about this? Or has anyone got any further comments?
There's never a bad thing to ask our officers about anything. I kind of alluded to that earlier, for my education for a start. But I still feel how I feel. But, you know, if they can enlighten me any further, then fine.
Okay, thanks, Vice Convener. If it is of any benefit, it is within your gift to defer. If you so wish, you can defer the hearing to the next board. You can, of course, go ahead, because as I pointed out, the papers were served. There may be a potential for a challenge to that because the licence holder is not present, but that's not necessarily a mandatory requirement, having given us authority or given people authority to represent him. So the two options are available to you.
So as we just heard, we have two options here. We can think about it a little bit longer, or we can choose to defer. What are people's thoughts at this moment? Councillor Speed, do you want to come in?
Yeah, I think just in light of the fact that we know that the two representatives here today have not seen those papers, I would propose that we defer.
I've been happy to propose and I'm happy to second. I think for me it's sensible. Thank you, Councillor Speed.
Is there an amendment to that?
Is there an amendment to that? Anyone? Councillor Brace.
Yes, I'd move that we just carry on with the meeting. The licence holder has, our licensing officers have done everything properly. Licence holder has been made aware of everything. It was up to the licence holder to pass papers on to whoever he was delegating to represent him today. So I think we should just crack on.
Have you got a seconder, Councillor Brace? Councillor Whiteside?
Thanks. Yeah, I would be happy to second that. I think Councillor Brace makes a very fair point.
Okay, members, we're moving to a vote. It's the premises licence review application, and we have got a motion by Councillor Speed, seconded by Councillor Clark, to defer consideration of the review application. The amendment moved by Councillor Brace, seconded by Councillor Whiteside, is to consider the review application. So if you're voting for motion or amendment. Vice Convener?
Amendment.
Councillor Brace?
Amendment.
Councillor Clark?
Motion. Sorry, motion.
Councillor Durno?
Motion.
Councillor Meehan?
Motion.
Councillor Gavin Nicol?
Motion.
Councillor Speed?
Motion.
And Councillor Whiteside?
Amendment.
So that's 5 for the motion, 3 for the amendment. Therefore, the review application will be deferred.
What's the next date?
The next date is the 19th of February 2026.
Okay, so we defer to them, yeah.
Okay, based on the vote, this will now be deferred till the 19th of February.
Can we just say thank you very much? It's not our intention to waste anyone's time, and we do apologise unreservedly, and we'll make sure that on the 19th everything will be appropriate and in accordance with your regulations.
Thank you for that.
Just give us a few minutes. I'll go and get the convener back in.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. We'll now move on to item number 7, which is the personal licences delegated approvals. This is report LB 426. People will have the opportunity to have read through that. Are we happy to agree these?
Noted.
Thank you. Item number 8, again, this is occasional licences, delegated approvals. This is report LB 526. Are we happy to note these?
Noted.
Thank you. Item number 9, premises licences, minor variations, delegated approvals. This is report LB 626. Are we happy to note these?
Noted.
Thank you very much. Item number 10, premises licences under the Licensing in Scotland Act, licences surrendered. This is report LB 726. Are we happy to again note these?
Noted.
Thank you. And finally, item number 11, report 826. This is extended hours, delegated approvals. Again, are we happy to note these?
Noted.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone, for your attendance. Thank you.
Claire Ryan.